Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Andrew Schwartz. I am the director here at the UC Berkeley Central Sierra Snow Lab. We are looking at some more precipitation. We've already had a little bit of rain, and more exciting, we have snow in the forecast. So I was going to take a few moments, talk about the forecast with you. This is not going to be an in-depth thing at all, but it's going to be a quick little 1-2 punch of a forecast. And then next week, as we get closer to when we're expecting that snowfall, I'll come back and really talk about how things are lining up and what we can expect in terms of amounts. So this is just to give us kind of an overview and hopefully give an indication of what we're looking at from this point on. So we're going to go ahead and head over to our model page, and we're going to look through some of these models. So the first one we have here is the GEFS. You can see that in a couple places here at the model there, and then also at the top of the image. So this model, the GEFS, is the ensemble for the American modeling system. So Global Forecast System, GFS, and this is the Global Ensemble Forecast System, so GEFS. An ensemble is something that helps us make a probabilistic forecast. Too often, I think we get caught up on specific numbers. This is something that the forecasting community is really going into lately. Instead of saying, we're going to have 12 inches, we have a probability of having snowfall in this range. And these are the types of models that help us do that. And the way they achieve that is, instead of depending on one model run, we'll run the model multiple times with all kinds of different parameters set slightly differently at the beginning, and then look at how all those models average out. And they do a pretty good job of giving us an indication of what's coming in. So this is the American version. And what we're looking at here is the 6-hour QPF. So this is the amount of precipitation that is expected to fall over a 6-hour period. And so if we start trucking through here, we can see that as we get into tomorrow, we start seeing precipitation make its way into Northern California. We can see it really come down into the Central Sierra here. This is 0Z, so that's 0 London time, midnight effectively, which means that here it is 4 p.m. And then we keep going. We see that kind of get hung up there through Sunday. More moisture. Still going. And into the 24th and 25th as well, we get a big influx of moisture. So we've got all this moisture coming in. This is a very, very good thing. I'm not really going to look beyond 10 days. Model do not do great beyond 10 days. And even the 7 to 10 day window can be a little bit rough. So that's what we're looking at for now. So we're looking pretty good. Now, we always like to compare models, see if one's seeing something the other isn't. So we're going to switch over here and look at the EPS. So this is the European model ensemble, kind of the same deal as the American model ensemble, but the European version. The colors are fairly straightforward here. Greens are lighter, grays and greens are lighter precipitation amounts. Blues, purples are heavier. So trucking through here, you can see when these are valid for, or the time that's being simulated on the top left. So this would be Wednesday, the 24th at 0Z, which again, confusing, but if you take away 8 hours, that means this is actually the 23rd at 4 p.m. for us. So we start to really get to see a lot of moisture on the 24th into the 25th. And then that same dry period that was shown in the GEFS is coming through on this one too. So we're seeing quite interesting behavior, the extension of this moist period that we've been having for the last several days here. But what does this mean for snowfall? So we're going to go over here to the Department of Atmospheric Sciences at the University of Utah. They have this amazing system that they use to put together a snow ensemble. It is an experimental product as mentioned here. But the thing that's really nice is they were kind enough to create these plots for us at the model grid point that's closest to us here at the Snow Lab. So again, we have the GEFS and the ENS. You can see those on both of these plots on the top. On the left, this is the overall accumulated precipitation. So this is rainfall and how much additional liquid there would be if all the snowfall that came down was also liquid. Okay, so this is our liquid precipitation amount on the left. On the right, this is what we can expect in snowfall in inches. Now, the first thing I want you to note is that on December 19th, tomorrow, we start to get a little bit of rain, then taper off, and then we start to get a lot more, start creeping up as we get into the 22nd. We really don't start getting snowfall until we get early to midday on this 22nd. By that point over here, we've already looked at having potentially 5 to 7 inches of rain. So it's going to be a wet and sloppy one to begin with. Once we get to the 23rd, our snowfall starts taking off, and this is where things get fun, right? If we talk about the full 10-day window, because I'm sure that's where all of our eyes are going, we can see that both the American and European ensembles end here somewhere between 5 and 6 feet of snow, or excuse me, between 4 and 5 feet of snow. I believe that to be somewhat optimistic just because of how far off in the future that is. I'd like to scale that back to maybe just through the 25th. But even if we're just looking through the 25th, we're looking at a couple feet of snow. And that'll go a long way towards easing our snow drought conditions that we've been in so far this season. So, these models are pretty in line with each other. Right now, I would say, based off this, I'm going to give it a wide-ranging forecast because it's 7 days out. But somewhere between 1 foot and 3 feet are not out of the realm of possibility. But we should have a lot more information on what those totals should be come next week. So, if we come back here and I just go ahead and wrap us up, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at snowy conditions after rainy conditions. Rain for the next several days up until roughly next Wednesday, and then a transition to snow just in time to give us a white Christmas for those that wanted that. And then after that, a little dry period, but potentially more snowfall on the way. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll be doing them more in the future, and really enjoyed having you take a look. Thanks. Bye.